have read and listened to so many interpretations of that section, some of which I consider partisan. But I of the view that the key word there is "and." Says the 36 states of the Federation and FCT, Abuja. When you look at the definition of "and," it means something in addition to or apart from, which to me presupposes that apart from having 25% in 24 states, you must also score 25% in Abuja. And
so guys, people keep arguing if INEC was supposed to announce Tinubu as the winner of this presidential election, considering the fact that Tinubu wasn't able to win Abuja. And we all know that there is this section of the law that says that whosoever is going to emerge as the winner of the presidential election must have gotten 25% in 24 states plus the FCT. So guys, there is this controversy as to whether INEC was supposed to announce Tinubu to be the president-elect, considering the fact that Tinubu did not win in Abuja, the FCT. We all know that there is this section of the law that says that whosoever is going to emerge as the winner of the presidential election must have gotten 25% in 24 states plus the FCT. And people keep saying that INEC was really in a hurry to have announced Tinubu to be the winner of this election, despite the fact that he could not even secure the FCT. So guys, in this video, I'm going to allow you listen to this senior advocate of Nigeria. He's going to dissect what he understood, or he's going to interpret that section of the law that determines who actually won the election. Don't forget that this election is still being challenged, despite the INEC coming up to say Tinubu won. We all know what happened on the day of the election. We all know all the flaws that were recorded during this election. And Mr. Peter Obi has vowed to challenge Tinubu's emergence as the president-elect in court. So guys, let me allow you listen to this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.
We have read and listened to so many interpretations of that section, some of which I consider partisan. But I of the view that the key word there is "and." Says the 36 states of the Federation and FCT, Abuja. When you look at the definition of "and," it means something in addition to or apart from, which to me presupposes that apart from having 25% in 24 states, you must also score 25% in Abuja. And there are so many authorities on this point that had interpreted the word "and." I'm also not unmindful of the cases of Buhari and INEC being bandied around. But you discover in that case that the issue of whether now President Buhari scored 25% in Abuja never arose. They were only looking at the status of Abuja vis the administrative structure. I'm also aware of the Bakari and Ogundima and Bakari case, which some people also had been throwing around. In that particular one, too, they were only looking at the administrative structure which Section 299 created and which made Abuja an administrative center as it was intended to be from the beginning. So to now read Section 299 into 1342B, in my own view, is expanding or imputing into what is not in Section 1342B into it. So since the words are very clear, we use the literal rule of interpretation. And since the latter part of that provision specifically mentioned Abuja, It means you construe it in such a way as to exclude the 36 states earlier mentioned. So my own position, subject to what the courts eventually decide, is that you will need the 25% in Abuja in addition to scoring 25% in 24 states.
But what about the argument that it was not the intention of the drafters of the Constitution for Abuja to have a special status?
I don't subscribe to that perspective as well. As far as I'm concerned, Abuja has not been given any special status by virtue of Section 1342B. We have similar provisions in the 1979 Constitution, but they did not include Abuja. We have similar provisions in the 1989 Constitution. It also did not mention Abuja. However, you will see that because of the 12 to 3rd crisis, which the Section 126 of the 1979 Constitution threw up, they tried to cure it in the 1989 Constitution by saying that in a situation where there is a fraction, as we had in 79 in Kano in 79, that where there is a fraction, it will be appropriated to the next nearest figure. You could see that the intent of the drafters of that particular section was to cure the crisis that arose from the interpretation of the 1979 version. In this instance, as at the time the 1999 Constitution was done, the Federal Capital Territory had already been moved to Abuja. Under the 1989 and 79 constitutions, the Federal Capital Territory was still in Lagos. And of course, Lagos was also listed as one of the states of the Federation. However, by the time the 1999 Constitution came into being, Lagos had ceased to be the Federal Capital Territory. It has now become Abuja. So there is a need to include it, not to create a special status. It was just an inclusion, to include it and expand the previous similar provisions in 1979 and 1989 to include Abuja. And let me give you this. Go to the definition sections of the Constitution where the states were listed. Abuja is not listed as a state. So, for all intents and purposes, I can't think, and I won't subscribe to the view that the drafters of that section intend Abuja to be read together with the other 36 states.
Anyway, like you said, we'll wait for the courts to decide on that. But one other issue that the Presidential and National Assembly elections threw up is the issue of the electronic transmission of results from the polling units directly to the INEC's IREV. Looking at the provisions of the Electoral Act, what effects do you think that delayed transmission will have?
As a matter of fact, I am unable to see how the delay has occasioned any injustice from my perspective and from where I voted. But I've also come to hear and read of complaints of situations where those results were not uploaded at the polling unit. I've also read, I believe it is true, the comment attributed to the INEC chairman that it is not compulsory that those results be uploaded at the polling unit. I am, however, unable to agree with him because my own view about Section 61 of the Electoral Act is very clear, though it also now gives the Commission the liberty to prescribe the mode of transmission. But in doing that, the Commission will also have to be guided by its own guidelines. If you read Section 34 to 38 of that guideline, it clearly states the mode. And I don't think the chairman will be right to say that it allows them to do things which are outside that Section 34 to 37.